Good afternoon. Here are your newspaper headlines from the 20th of August, 2025 from the British Press. My name is Not a Dr. Robert, and this is Health Freedom UK. The Daily Telegraph says migrant hotels facing closure. Farage's rallying cry as High Court throws future of asylum strategy into doubt. Air support, but no boots on the ground, says Trump. And migrant hotels facing closure headlines the Daily Telegraph after a High Court ruling threw government's asylum plans into turmoil. The broadsheet also writes that US President Trump has promised air support but no boots on the ground to Ukraine in its conflict with Russia. Elsewhere on the page reports on the Pope to live with friends in Papal Palace. The iPaper says migrant policy in disarray as court rules protest hotel must evict asylum seekers. Again, the High Court is ruling on the Epping Hotel has left migrant policy in disarray. The legal action follows protests that struck up after an asylum seeker living there was charged with sexually assaulting a 14-year-old girl in the town. Government sources argue court action is politically motivated and also on its front and says on claiming that Putin agrees to talks with Zelensky. The Daily Mail, Labour's migrant hotels policy in disarray. And again, the Mail says Labour's migrant hotels policy is in disarray for its headline. It says, saying ministers are stunned. The Bell Hotel has just 24 days to close after an 11-hour Home Office bid to block action was thrown out. The Daily Express, asylum hotel closure is a victory for mums. And again, the closure of the Bell Hotel is all about always what's in the Daily Express. And conservative leader Kemi Bedan, oh for fuck's sake, I don't know, made the comments about the legal ruling as Reform UK Nigel Farage said it should be an inspiration across the country. Oh dear. The Guardian says High Court rules asylum seekers must be moved from protest hotel. And Trump US won't send troops to Ukraine. Post-Brexit, UK eroding protections for nature. The High Court ruling makes the front page for The Guardian. And the policies were plugged into turmoil. Thousands, including some right-wing agitators, have gathered near the hotel since the sexual assault charge came to light. Also, The Guardian front page, post-Brexit, UK eroding protections for nature, as the paper says the country is falling behind the EU despite Labour's manifesto pledge not to dilute standards. The Times says Trump offers air support to Ukraine as he pushes for summit. High Court puts asylum hotel into turmoil, and Reeves wants a capital gains mansion tax. Again, the Times, it says High Court puts asylum hotel policy into turmoil. Lawyers for the Home Office warned of similar applications made that would then aggravate pressures on the asylum estate. It writes also on the front page, Reeves wants a capital gains mansion tax, and the Chancellor is considering using the autumn budget to end the exemption from capital gains tax, known as private residence relief for properties above a certain threshold. And the Metro, fury at Reeves, 500k wealth tax on homes. And so this is according to the Metro, which it says is led by property TV presenter Kirsty Allsop. Treasury officials are said to have been told to check how much the government would raise. The possible new fee would make people selling their homes more than 500k pay a proportional property tax based on the sale price. The government seems to want to punish people for making the sacrifices they've made to buy their own homes. Allsop is also quoted saying on the Metro's front page. The Financial Times says Trump hints at US air role in push to seal Ukraine peace. And celebrity-backed Labrador hysteria sends Chinese toy maker into big league. And Trump hints at US air role in push to seal Ukraine peace. Is the headline. The Financial Times. The Kremlin has been warned of rough situation by the president, who said, I hope President Putin will be good. A photo of the grinning Spanish premier and his wife features on the front as she has been charged with embezzling public funds. Sanchez feels he says the broadsheet. The Mirror says Trump's Ukraine plan Brit troops to keep the peace. European boots on ground. Putin agrees to meet Zelensky. Brit troops to keep the peace if the deal with Russia is struck, reports the Daily Mirror, following Trump's Ukraine talks with European leaders and Ukraine President Zelensky. He ruled out using military, the tabloid adds. And the Star, gratuity, outrage, tipping point, service charge, fury for buying a beer at the bar. The Daily Star has reached it says it's reached a tipping point. Drinkers are fuming as tips for service charge are automatically added when buying a pint. The Sun says, Noel, I'm so proud of Liam. Warm tribute to amazing, funny brother. The Gallagher brothers are splashed across the front of the Sun, with Noel quoted the headline saying, I'm so proud of Liam. Their reunion ends a 15-year rift as the older of the pair made a warm tribute to his amazing, funny brother. Those, ladies and gentlemen, are the UK headlines on the 20th of August 2025. My name's Robert, not a Dr. Robert, and I can't say Kemi Badenoch or whatever her name is. Thank you. I'll see you again soon. Cheers then. Bye for now. Bye-bye.